Yes, I'm the first one of us to say the Earth spins on an axis. Now convincing the world that their view's absurd is much more harder in practice. That our planet spins this way and also spins that way. My critics, they call me eccentric. But haters be hating while I'll be creating my model that's heliocentric.
The Earth spins round the sun right round, not the other way round, round. Not in a circle, Kepler found. Goes elliptically round. Discovering Jupiter's formulas refuted the formerly mooted Ptolemy. To my telescope, the Pope said nope, what is this wild new astronomy? Tried to make me recant, I said that I shan't, because there was proof I had tested. Cause that was my view, but what could I do? It actually got me arrested. The Earth spins round the sun right round, not the other way round, round. Not in a circle, Kepler found. Goes elliptically round.
Don't panic, our world is mechanical. My laws of motion all work without flaws. I made science seem much less trickier in my Principia with show of force. Can't help that it's matter of fact that all matter attracts. Let's break it down rationally. That the sun pulls the earth, pulls the moon, pulls the sea, even me. Yeah, that's gravity.
The Earth spins round the sun right round, not the other way round, round. Earth spins round the sun around, not the other way round. Gravity keeps us on the ground, means the sun pulls the earth around.
Hello and welcome to the news at When. When, around 70 years ago, when the United States of America and the Soviet Union, centered around modern-day Russia, decided to try and settle the growing argument over who was superior in a way that was quite literally out of this world. Here with more details on this starry story is our very own space cadet Bob Hale with the Space Race Report. Bob.
Thank you, Sam. Well, the year is 1945, World War II has just ended, and after years of having to be battle buddies, America and the Soviet Union can now finally embrace the fact that they don't much like each other. You see, these two superpowers run their countries in very different ways, called chalk and cheese. Communism and capitalism, so have grown to distrust each other intensely. But luckily, both of them captured some of the German rocket scientists who built Hitler's wartime missiles, which suggests a rather exciting way to settle which superpower is best. Rocket-back jousting. Oh? Okay, then how about using missile technology to put a man into space? Yes, the space race is on with an early lead going to America, who, to find out if it's possible for living creatures to survive space travel, start firing monkey stocks, bison, rhinos into outer space, though not rhinos. And with the Soviets following suit, soon loads of animals are sent off into starry skies, with many of them never coming back. I guess they liked it up there, or what? Oh, right. Rest in peace, guys. Anyway, now the race really starts hotting up as both sides rush towards the next major milestone, putting a man-made craft into orbit around the Earth, with the points this time going to the Soviets. Yes, in 1957, Sputnik 1, a radio beacon the size of a beach ball, becomes the thank you. Really helpful, honestly. Yes, Sputnik becomes the first ever satellite, but America's not far behind. And in 1958, they launch Explorer 1, which is about the size of a grapefruit. Don't even think about it. And while it's even-Steven score-wise, the Soviets are now on a roll. They send an unmanned rocket right around the moon, launch a probe to photograph its surface, and in 1961, after successful tests using a dummy, yes, very funny, Russia's Yuri Gagarin becomes the first ever man in space, and America starts getting pretty sick of second place. So, in 1961, US President John F. Kennedy announces that America will attempt the impossible, to put a man on the moon. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. The exact same reason why I keep trying to set the clock on my oven. So, a new series of rockets known as the Apollo program are dedicated to the moon landing. But disaster strikes when a fire during launch simulation kills the crew of Apollo 1, meaning Apollos 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 become unmanned flights to perfect the design. Until finally, in 1968, the USA gets some badly needed points when the crew of Apollo 8 become the first men in history to orbit the moon. And just 1 year later, America is finally ready to do what mankind has always dreamt of, teaching a pig to tap dance. Huh? Oh, moon landing. That makes more sense with all of this. I see. No, fine. So, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong climb aboard Apollo 11 with the aim of beating the Soviets once and for all. Their mission is simple. Fly to the moon, land on the moon, walk on the moon, leave the moon, fly home, and Bob's your uncle, though only if you're my nephews. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, since the navigation computer was about as powerful as a chip inside a modern toaster, I'd say pretty much anything. But the date's been set, the cameras are primed, and the eyes of the world watch with bated breath, which is difficult for eyes, as on July the 20th, 1969, the Lunar Module Eagle separates from the Command Module Columbia and lands on the moon! Yes, the space race race is finally won. A scoreboard-shattering victory to the US of A as Neil Armstrong takes one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. The Soviets accept defeat, wave goodbye to a moon they never reached, and turn their attentions to building space stations, leaving America to build a moon colony with a burger bar and a coffee shop, right? Wrong! In fact, only 12 people ever set foot on the moon, and no one's been there since 1972. A tragic oversight that I'm going to rectify right now. Yes, it's time to take one small step for Bob Hale, but one giant leap for the good people at Bob Hale Space Rocket Industries. Goodbye, Sam. I've always loved you. Will you wait for me?
No.
Well, I'm not going then. Fine.
From trepanning, electric hairbrushes, and the thousands of other weird and wacky ideas about health, it was these next 3 huge discoveries that really changed the world we live in today. The amazing work of Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, and Alexander Fleming saved more lives than anything else in history. You might not like having your injections. They protect you from lots of nasty illnesses and infections. Thanks to them, we now all live longer, healthier lives. Take it away, boys.
Edward Jenner and I was told, mates who got cowpox once never had another episode. So I injected James Phipps with a strain. He didn't catch smallpox, he was as right as rain. I gave him inoculation, despite some protestation. Was the first vaccination, led to his rehabilitation. Imagine my elation at my medical creation. And so my vaccination led to experimentation.
By me, Louis Pasteur, if you please. Salt, if that works, surely you can vaccinate against all disease. So I injected cholera into a hen. Turns out I was right, it lived to lay eggs again. I gave him immunization, it was a made-up inoculation.
It like my vaccination, but with a modification.
Turns out its application was a medical transformation. It was a culmination of a scientific dedication. Alexander Fleming,
I invented penicillin,
accidentally,
like all the best discoveries.
him and him
And me, saved more lives than anyone in history.
and disease that's killing.
With vaccinations and penicillin.
We gave you vaccination, penicillin and immunization. We gave you vaccination, penicillin and immunization. We gave you vaccination, penicillin and immunization. We left the world that's cheerier by dealing with bad bacteria. Ghastly, mean and cruel stuff they don't teach you at school. The past is no longer a mystery. Hope you enjoyed Horrible Histories.